Hey everybody, it's Sean and Julie from Chicory's Travels, and we are doing our second live stream. Tonight we wanted to talk about what?
How far we travel and how long we stay. And we'll cover a couple different scenarios. One is what we just did, which was kind of unusual for us, and then also what our preference is. And then we'd like to ask you guys the same thing. Do you have a preference and how far you travel and how long you stay? So first, do you want to talk about what we just did?
Sure. So we were just in Wellington, Texas last week, I guess it was.
Seems like a year ago already.
And we were... we had to get back up to Northern Virginia. Our son's getting married this weekend. And so Julie wanted to be up here pretty quick to catch all the action, the pre-wedding action. So we drove basically 1,500 miles in 4 days because we stopped one extra night in Tennessee to see Julie's parents. So we drove pretty far, about 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah. It was brutal. It was brutal. It's not our preference.
It's not our preference.
So the first day we drove from Wellington, Texas to Little Rock, Arkansas. That was like 500 miles.
Yeah.
Right? And
540.
we stayed at this really neat little campground. It's called the Downtown Riverside RV Park. Mm-hmm. And it's right off of 30, which we were on 40. So we got onto 30. And then it was like the second exit. And it's right there on the Arkansas River. And then you can take this pedestrian bridge across over into Little Rock. And it was even like River Fest but we were so tired from a whole day of driving.
Yeah. And you think you're really in a bad part of town when you go there, but it really, felt very safe inside the little RV park that we were in.
Yeah, so it was gated. It was gated. We saw a police car driving through, making sure everything looked okay. It was actually totally full.
Yeah. Because
it was Riverfest. We got like the only empty spot. But like I said, we were wiped out from driving and we knew we had to do it again the next day. So we didn't walk across and experience any of Little Rock. So that's on our agenda for next time.
And then from Little Rock, we went to Crossville, Tennessee, which was another 500-mile day. And we stayed an extra day there because Julie's family lives in Cookeville.
Yeah. And
so we spent an extra day there, and we didn't get to do much because the weather sucked.
Yeah.
It was raining.
Yeah. But we did go to this one little hike with some waterfalls, and I'll put a link to it for the replay. But for anyone that's watching it live afterwards, you can look and see I have a video called Burgess Falls and Windows Cliffs, and it was Burgess Falls that we went to. But then, like he said, it was raining, and there were several other things I wanted, and we were only there 2 days. Well,
yeah,
one day, because we got there one night, and then we had 1 day, and then stayed the next night, and then we were leaving. But we did get to visit with my parents, which was nice because they're coming out for the wedding, but it's going to be like all the craziness with the wedding and stuff. So we wouldn't really have much one-on-one time. So it was nice to stop there, but we definitely want to go back.
And then we drove from Crossville, Tennessee to Fort Belvoir, Virginia for the last day. And we were smart and took 81 and didn't go over to 95. So the traffic wasn't horrible, but it was still a 10.5-hour day of driving. So very unlike us to do 3 long driving days like that. The only other time I remember doing a long drive is when we were, after the hurricane last year, after Hurricane Irma. We wanted to get back down into Florida, so I drove 16 hours straight from
that was crazy.
Millington, Tennessee to Cocoa Beach, Florida.
When Sean gets it in his mind that he wants to go somewhere, he wants to be there like he doesn't want to stop. He just wants to go, which I don't really prefer. But as a matter of fact, going from Wellington to Crossville, Tennessee, it was 2 like 10-hour days. He wanted to do that in one drive. I said, well, what are you going to drive 24 hours? I mean, that's crazy. So we compromised. So we have a couple people here, Eduardo and 2 for RV. Hey guys, so where are you guys 2 for RV? What part of Florida are you in? We actually, when we talk about our typical travel, it's more like what we did in Florida. Like we were in Tampa for a month, and then we drove over to Cocoa Beach for another month. Then we drove down to Jonathan Dickinson
State Park.
And that was going to be for 2 weeks, because in Florida state parks, that's the max that you can schedule. So we didn't get the 2 full weeks because that was the evacuation Sean was talking about. But we did have planned to do 2 full weeks and then go down from there to John Pennekamp State Park for another 2 weeks, then go to Key West for a month. All those plans were dashed.
And then we also, like from February, we were in Fredericksburg, Texas for a month.
Actually, was it a month? Might have been like 6 weeks.
Whatever.
More a month at least.
And then we went to Castroville, Texas for 6 weeks.
Yep.
And then we went up to Wellington, Texas
for 3
weeks. So
we're here now for a month.
We don't like to drive. Knee surgery in Port Charlotte.
Hopefully your knee surgery goes well.
We typically don't like to travel 3 long days like that. Maybe 1 decent day and then stop for a while.
Yeah, and we definitely don't like to stop for only 1 day either. It was like 2 nights, 1 day. Yeah. No, we like to stay for like a month so that we can take our time and go see things in the area, and then also have rest days in between. And
in fact, we're probably going to go back to Crossville after we're done here for a couple weeks just to see all the sites that we didn't get to see. Yeah.
And probably stay at least for a couple weeks, maybe a month. We'll see, but definitely to have time to do more. And yeah, 2 for RV said, and they do too, also to save on gas. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
We have a budget that we keep every month, and we busted that budget when we had to evacuate from Florida to Tennessee, and we stayed on that budget for how long has it been since that evacuation?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, and
August, September.
6 months, maybe more, and we busted the budget this month for the first time since then. Although we knew, so we kind of did have an extra budget for it, but we knew it was going to happen coming out here. Yeah, you burn through so much gas. We have the 5th wheel toy hauler that we're pulling with the diesel dually, and prices are going up.
Yeah. The gas was quite expensive on this. The last day, especially, I think it was like $3.40 a gallon.
So benefits of staying in one place a little bit longer are saving on gas, just having more energy and more time to go see things, and then also you save money on campground stays. Because we've been looking at where we want to go next, and a lot of places they'll advertise, $50, $60 a night, because I like to stay at places with pools and hot tubs and near like touristy things. And we were looking at them and they're like $50, $60 a night. But if you stay a week, there's a discount. If you stay 2 weeks, there's a greater discount. And if you stay a month, there's usually an even better discount. Oh, Alabama. Oh, yeah. Someone talked about Thousand Trails. So that's another way also to save money, is to use the different membership programs. We haven't tried one out yet, but we're thinking about it. And I was going to tell you another place that I would like to stay. It's actually in Alabama. It's like Gulf Shores State Park or something like that. And it's right on the coast. And some of my favorite bloggers, they're called Chapter 3 Travels. They wrote a blog post that was their favorite campground of the year last year, that they stayed at around Thanksgiving, and they really enjoyed it. So And I think actually you can stay longer than 2 weeks. I think they stayed a whole month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would like to hear from you on how far you guys travel in September. No cost.
Oh, well, no cost is good. No cost. I'll take that.
We'd like to hear how far you guys like to travel, you know, in your typical travel days, and how many days you like to travel, and how long you like to stay somewhere.
So I took a little informal survey on Facebook in a Facebook group called Living the RV Dream, which was what first inspired us to start living the RV dream. We started actually following that. We were still in our house, and the vast majority, there were over 100 people responded, and the vast majority go by this 3-3 rule. Oh yeah, I just saw someone put a 2 to 3 hours and 2 to 3 week stay.
Yeah.
And I have seen people also go by like a 2-2-2 rule or a 3-3-3 rule, which is they drive no more than 2 hours or 3 hours, depending on which rule they're going with that day. They stop by 2 or 3, and then they stay 2 or 3 days. I think if we were going to go by that rule, I would rather stay the 2 or 3 weeks, though. Yeah. The problem for us, though, is because if we traveled at the pace that I wanted to, which would be 2 to 3 hours, because then there's way more exciting things to see in this next spot, and then we stayed for a whole month, it would take us forever to get out of, like, how much did we spend in Florida last month?
No, last year.
Last year, I mean. Last year we spent 6-7 months
in
Florida alone, and we still never made it to the Keys because of the hurricane. So, I mean, we kind of have to compromise. So since we stay longer, that's why we usually end up going 4 to 5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes longer, like we're talking about going from here back to Crossville and then staying there longer, and that would be another 10-hour drive.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be
3 days in a row.
3 days in a row. So there's a ton of places around here. Right now we're in Fort Belvoir, Virginia, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. And there's a bunch of places within like a 3-hour radius that I want to go to around here in North Carolina, in Pennsylvania, in Ohio. But I think we're kind of saving that for, we said our son's getting married. And so when we have grandkids, which is hopefully not going to be, we actually have a bet, but we won't say on here what the bet is. We have a bet on how soon it's going to be. Not in less than 9 months. Okay. It's not a shotgun wedding. They've been together for 7 years, but I'm saving those for when we have grandkids, because then I was saying we could spend 2 weeks here, 2 weeks somewhere in Pennsylvania, come back here for 2 weeks, then go somewhere in Ohio for 2 weeks, and then come back here for 2 weeks, you know, and kind of just do that as long as
only
we want.
In the summer.
Oh, well, yeah. No, in the summer, spring, and fall. Just, we would probably have to go back to Florida or something for the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I said, what is our preference? So, now what else is next? We said maybe Tennessee. This is actually the first time that we haven't had solid plans. We've been kind of tossing around ideas, but after that, we're still going to take our time getting back to Texas.
We're going to get back to Texas for October, the premiere of the documentary
RV Nomad. So it's called Nomad Fest.
Oh, Julie actually has a friend buried in Arlington Cemetery, so every time we're here, we try to stop by.
I do. I always go, and I still keep in touch with his mother, and I always send her a note that I went to Arlington and visited his grave, and I let her know.
South Dakota is definitely on our list, especially the Black Hills area.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if we're going to make it there before October.
No.
But it's definitely on our list.
It's definitely on our list. We're going to, so October is the Nomad Fest, and we're going to make our way west after that to winter, like around Arizona, California. And then we'll start going north from there. And so, you know, after when it's like next summer, maybe we'll make it out there. Yeah.
And we're excited to be putting, we're going to be putting Battleborn lithium batteries on our RV. So, and they're in Reno. So we want to make it to Reno right in the springtime next year.
Yeah.
So we can go see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We met them, the CEO and
the founder, right, or president.
Yeah, and the marketing.
Oh yeah, their marketing. Yeah, and their camera guy.
Yep.
Who does like their videos and stuff like that. Yeah, we
really
met them.
Nice people. Really nice people.
Yeah.
So we want to go visit them in Reno.
Yeah. So we got a lot of kind of like loose plans around there. But the same thing, we want to stay a while. Like any place we go, we don't want to, like a week to me, it's just not enough, you know, because then I feel like I have to be on the go from like sunrise to sunset doing everything I want to do. And I'm not getting any younger. So it gets a little tiring. And Sean has never liked anyway to do stuff from sunrise to sunset.
Yes, well, we're going to do more boondocking too.
Yeah, well, okay. We're going to try. Yeah, we're going to try some more boondocking because, you know, last week we talked about what we learned from our boondocking and we didn't love it, but that was because of some problems we feel like we can overcome with the lithium batteries, with better weather. So we're going to give it a try. Yeah, especially going out west because, gosh, that's what everyone talks about, right?
Oh, yeah. They're asking about the remodel.
Oh, yeah. So we just finished phase 1 of the remodel. And what that is, if you guys haven't been following along, is our living room kitchen area. I painted, I did curtains, we got new furniture. So we have several videos on that whole process. And that was why another reason why it was really nice to be near San Antonio for 6 weeks, because I was able to do that, but and it's kind of time consuming, but at the same time, we were still able to spend time with our 2 sons who live there. Yep. So I do have more phases of the remodel. I still have to do the bedroom, the bathroom, and we have a toy hauler, so the garage. And we're not doing new furniture in any of those rooms, but I am painting and new curtains and stuff like that. So I guess I'm going to get started on that right after the family leaves from the wedding here. So like middle of next week, I'm going to get started and try to knock that out.
And I have one more work trip, so we'll have to do that. We're going to do that before we leave here as well. So.
Yeah, we're going up to Pennsylvania, but we're not taking the RV because it's for work. So they're putting him up in a hotel there, and we'll be driving up. Okay, we have a phone call.
All right.
Sorry about that. We'll have to remember to like put that on vibrate or something. I don't know. It'd probably still come up on the computer, but yeah. So let us know how far you like to travel, how long you like to stay. Do you find yourself making a compromise like we do, driving a little longer so that we can stay a little longer and still get across the country? And also, I have another question for you. A lot of RVers get these maps that they put on the RV, and you know, they're like little stickers for each state. And I hear like different rules about like what's their rule for putting a sticker on. We met these people at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, and they said they had to go to church and play golf in a state for them to put a sticker. Some people, it's like they have to stay the night, or they can't just be driving through. We never got one of those because we couldn't agree, because like I said, we spent like 6-7 months last year in Florida, and we still didn't feel like we could put a sticker on it because we still didn't make it to the Keys. You know, we didn't make it to Naples, was another place, and we didn't make it to the Everglades. So even though we did a lot of Florida, made it as far south as Jonathan Dickinson State Park, we just didn't feel like we could say, yeah, Florida's done. So what about that? Do you guys have a way of tracking or one of those sticker maps? And what are your rules? Someone said you have to sleep there. I've definitely heard that. You have to sleep there. You can't just drive through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you have to be in the RV, I guess, if you're going to do your sticker map on your RV, because we were in the military for 20 years. So I mean, really, we've been to almost every state, but not in the RV. In the RV, in June will be, or this is June.
Yeah.
Later this month will be 4 years, and we have only been as far west as Texas now.
Yeah.
And that was this year. So because we stay so long in places, we don't make it that far.
Outdoors and more say at least one day of summer. Yeah, we'll
those are good rules. Well, what we did is we got, and this is part of my remodel. I bought this. It's like a wooden outline of the U.S. map, and then we can keep track of all the places we've stayed without having to say that the state's done, even though.
That's true.
Because, I mean, Tennessee, too, we've only ever stayed in Crossville. Arkansas, we've only stayed in Little Rock. What did he say?
He said, by those standards, you guys will not get 4 states covered before you're using a walker.
That's 100%. That's 100% right. That's why I decided to get this little outline of a map that I can put the push pins in, because we probably never will. I mean, my list is so long of what I want to see and where I want to go.
Yeah.
Good point.
So let us know. Yeah, let us know what you guys do, what your criteria are for that.
Okay, so we can talk, we can talk frankly around them, what it's like having company in the RV.
Yeah. So look forward to that next week. And I think that's it, right?
Yeah, let us know if our paths will cross.